You were recently appointed the Kenya Simbas head assistant coach, and you are part of the team that went to South Africa for the preparation matches. So, how was the experience?
Look, it is one of the most incredible experience where you meet different guys from different backgrounds and different clubs, where normally it's just a once-off occasion where we play against them and you interact for about 2 to 3 4 hours and then that's done. But now it's a situation where we are bringing everyone, the best of Kenya, together, and it was just an experience that is out of words to explain, because you meet guys who are really hungry to learn, and they very talented, Kenya's finest, and we put together. And also one thing that eluded me for a while is to think that there are no other coaches around, because here in Western we're just secluded as just us. Now I get to meet the likes of Curtis, the likes of Brian, and everyone. It was a beautiful team manager, Jimmy. It was a beautiful setup, and I think the national team coordinators, directors, and executive went to its depth in finding the best of the best, because the working environment was just so good. It was so free flowing, and it was just an experience of note. And I am very grateful. Obviously working under the leadership of the legend Jerome Parvater, it makes it even that much easier to learn and make the environment more enjoyable, because he brings a wealth of experience, and then he's taught us quite a lot of things that even I, who has been around, thought I knew, but everywhere you go, it's a learning experience for all of us. So yes, I actually really enjoyed, and I'm really grateful to KRU for the experience. Yeah.
So, in South Africa, you played several matches, and out of the matches that you played, you won 2, and then there's a close call against Namibia. So, generally, what do you make of Kenya Simbas' performance in the?
Look, remember, having said what I said earlier, in terms of people who understand the game itself, it's almost a miracle what we achieved in that short space of time, in terms of we didn't even have preparation times. We had to put a team together within 4 weeks to play the Mzansi Challenge. Now remember, these teams are teams that have been playing for more than 4 to 5 weeks together with the pre-season. We had none of that, but we were sitting in contention. Had we played the last 3 games, we could have played the playoffs. With the fact that we needed to win all 3 games, even without a bonus point, we would be sitting in a playoff game. But now it just shows the character of the personnel that the Kenya Rugby Union had put together, and the players. I think it is something that is rarely done, where compliment is given to the coaching staff, but I think this time a lot needs to go to the players, because it's a brutal endeavor to go to South Africa and play teams that have been playing whole season, and you come and we play for about 4 to 5 weeks in meeting and achieve what we achieved, and it also speaks volume of what the legend Parvater is all about, because there's nothing much he changed except that he gave the boys a good platform and encouraged them to do what they do best, and that they must just follow his game plan, the processes, you know. So the rest of us were there to learn, put our inputs where it came to individuals and departmental affairs. So, and again, you know, under the leadership of Jimmy, where he just was the glue to everything between the players and the coaches and the executive, you know. We were never left in a daunting place when we were in South Africa. We always knew what was happening, where we were, and I think it is one of the most exciting times I've been. You know, we were in a hotel that is a 5-star rated. You know, KRU made sure we stayed in a place where players can still feel at home. They never felt like they were outsiders. We traveled in good transportation. So, in essence, a lot of people might think that the whole campaign was a failure, which is not true. It is just that certain things didn't come at the right time. It was just an experience of note. I enjoyed myself. Players enjoyed themselves. We had a few newcomers, and they played out of their shells. You know, it just speaks volumes of what, with time, what we can achieve as a country, Kenya. We just need to follow and respect the leadership that we have and give them time to put their house in order. And the rest of us, we just need to focus on the coaching, and the rest of us, fans, clubs, we need to just support the union, support the coaching staff, support the players to do their best.
So, we have like I think it's like 3 years to 2026 for the preparation for the qualifiers. So how should we prepare to ensure that we are very ready for the qualifiers and be able to qualify maybe for World Cup this time round?
Look, fortunately, the number one thing I think you should be talking about is how ready are we, you know? In terms of readiness, in terms of planning, Jerome Parvater is ahead. He's a class ahead of everyone and I think it's merely because he was here before and he knows what to do to get us there. He's already spoken about. It's not a question of how, it's a question of when we get to the World Cup, because now with his planning and everything that we've discussed, we've already finished the calendar year in terms of planning and preparing just for only the first 2 years. He's got that in plan, the different types of teams that we need to play, which competitions we need to play, also what type of opponents we need to play to actually put ourselves in the same or understand how far are we behind from the rest of the teams that we are competing with in our group of qualifiers, you know. So there's a plan, and I think that even our director is fully aware of and is supporting it. It's a question of now time, because also we need to understand that it's a difficult time for every country right now, because it's a World Cup year. Yes, teams need games, but teams are planning and preparing, so it's not easy to get friendlies right now, because for us it would be a matter of friendlies, but for other teams it's a matter of preparing for World Cups. So it would be quite a difficult task to ask teams to play us if they're in a World Cup, because they'll probably think we are not a World Cup qualifying team. they would want to play teams there. So, but Jerome is busy getting international games for us, creating a nice environment or nice platform for us to even go work with teams that can give us that platform of being able to base ourselves somewhere in the competitive world of rugby right now.
Okay, back now to local rugby. Your team scooped all the trophies, went unbeaten. So I know the fans' expectations are high heading to the 7th period. So how maybe difficult is it to prepare for 7th after a very successful 15th season?
First of all, I think one of the most frustrating parts of this campaign for sevens is that a majority of teams or majority of Kenyans are still distraught on the relegation of the Kenya Sevens team from the 7th circuit, but I think it's also a good learning ground or learning platform for all involved members to see how can we grow this group of, because I think we need to call it a new dawn in Kenya, where we need to regroup, start all over and start a new phase in Kenya Sevens. So having said that, we have had a couple of warm-up games, and you can see the transition from 15s to 7s is a big gap, and there's a big transition gap, let me put it that way again. Guys cannot differentiate a quality pass of 7s versus a quality pass of 15s. Also, I think if people understand the game, it would be similar to what is said with tennis and squash. You cannot play tennis the whole year and want to go and play squash within 3 to 4 months. The transition is going to be difficult because you use a lot of wrist. So it's similar to 15s and 7s. So guys are still transitioning from draw and pass to depth and having a bigger field. Also the fitness and counter of it is different, and also the break that was there is also affecting players. So there are quite a lot of difficulties going into this 7th circuit, but I think as time goes on, we will start seeing good passage of play in 7s. I think we can easily say that Kenya is a prominently 7s loving country, but I think without being prejudiced to it, we are trying to change that into a 15s country, but we must never run away from that. 7s is still our game. The shorter version, I'm talking only because it's my opinion, and I really believe that if we can get a very good 15th setup in the country, we can then start getting into a situation where even our 7s can be professionalized in terms of even locally and everything, So baby steps, I believe. Also, I think the new executive of KRU have got plans in place, have got everything lined up, because I think from listening to some of the talks they've had with with us, the ideas, they're looking very sharp, they're looking like they're very, very workable, and we can actually go deep and far with them to make sure that Kenya becomes a household name again, not just in Africa but internationally, whether it's 15s or 7s, because with 7s we've been there, seen it, done that. We just need now from here is to integrate, maybe bring 15s into something that we professionalize even at local level, you know. So yeah, it's just one of those important things that we get this circuit right as well.
Okay, maybe final question. How ready is the team as per now the tournaments that you've played?
Kabras. Yeah, Kabras is look. Kabras is a team that we cannot write out in any event. I think we are well prepared this year. We've never prepared well for 7s because we've always had players going out to our 15s, Simbas and everything, and we've always taken it light, but you know, with our executive saying that we need to redirect our focus and redirect our mission of Kabras, take everything, you know, a slogan that has been going around within the boys, Kabras, take everything. It's something that we want to do, and I think most importantly, the guys have gone as deep and far as to say they dedicate this 7th circuit, this 2023, to Tej, you know, our MD. You know, as we all know that Tej is our MD and our co-sponsor, Kabras Sugar, and the guys were saying we want to win the overall circuit for him, and we want to make him proud of us. We want him to always remember that we are so grateful for him and his family's contribution towards making these players and our communities better, you know. So it is something that we sat down as players and decided that it is our key goal into working into winning this one. So we are ready, especially we've got something to play for, and we've got something to play towards too, because he's quite dear and close to our hearts, and so we will leave no stone unturned to make sure that it's a dream come true for all of us. Hopefully that by the time we are crowned champions at the end of the season in what's the last one?
August.
No.
Kabeberi.
It's Eldoret. When we get to Eldoret, he will be able to come and hold the trophy with us. So yes, in answering your question, we are almost there, but we are not fully there. We've still got 2 weeks to go for our first tournament, but that's our first chapter. But yeah, we'll leave no stone unturned.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.